One abandoned mill, one hidden journal, and secrets powerful enough to destroy an entire town. She stumbled upon a truth no one wanted revealed. Now everyone is watching her every move. In a quiet town, a dark secret has been buried for decades, until she uncovered it. Watch closely, because every secret she uncovers will shock you, and you won't believe what happens next. If you love mysteries and shocking secrets, hit that subscribe button and share this story, because everyone deserves to know the truth. It all started on a quiet evening, when the sun was just dipping below the horizon, painting the sky in streaks of gold and crimson. Emma had always thought her small hometown was ordinary, predictable, even boring. But that night, something happened that would change everything she believed about her life and about the people around her. She was wandering near the old, abandoned mill at the edge of town, a place children whispered about but rarely dared to enter. Rumors said it was haunted, that people who went inside never returned the same. Emma, however, wasn't the type to fear stories. She was curious, driven by a relentless need to uncover the truth. As she pushed open the heavy wooden doors, a cold draft rushed past, carrying the scent of dust, mold, and something else she couldn't place. Her heart raced, a mix of fear and exhilaration. The mill's interior was vast and dark, shadowed by the remnants of forgotten machinery and broken windows. Every step she took echoed across the empty floor, like whispers from the past. And then she saw it. Hidden beneath a torn tarp in the corner was an old leather-bound journal. Its pages were yellowed with age, edges frayed, and its lock was broken as if waiting for her. Emma's hands trembled as she opened it, revealing handwriting so delicate and precise it seemed almost alive. The words inside weren't ordinary. They spoke of secrets that had been buried for decades. Betrayals, conspiracies, and names that made Emma's blood run cold. Someone in her town, someone she trusted, had been hiding the truth all along. Every sentence she read pulled her deeper, revealing a web of lies that connected the mill, the town's founding families, and a shocking tragedy that had been covered up years ago. By the time she closed the journal, the sun had vanished completely, leaving the world in twilight. Emma knew she had just stumbled onto something far bigger than herself, something dangerous. And yet, as fear clawed at her chest, so did a strange sense of purpose. She wasn't going to let this secret remain hidden. Whatever it took, she would uncover the truth. Little did she know, the discovery in that mill would set off a chain of events that could not be stopped, and nothing in her life would ever be the same again. The next morning, Emma couldn't sleep. The journal weighed heavy in her bag, its secrets pressing on her mind like a storm ready to break. She knew she had to understand it, but she also knew she couldn't do it alone. There were names, dates, and events she didn't recognize, connections that hinted at something much darker than she could imagine. At school, every face seemed different. People she thought she knew, friends, teachers, neighbors, suddenly felt like strangers. She remembered one name in particular, scribbled repeatedly across the journal's pages: Hawthorne. It was connected to her town's founding families, the same family her best friend's parents belonged to. Emma felt a chill run down her spine. Could it be? Determined to find answers, she went back to the mill that afternoon. Sunlight slanted through the broken windows, casting long shadows across the floor. As she traced the journal's cryptic notes, she discovered a loose floorboard near the old machinery. Her heart pounded as she lifted it, and underneath lay a small iron box covered in rust but surprisingly intact. Inside, she found photographs, letters, and documents, evidence of something no one had dared to speak about. There were pictures of people who had vanished mysteriously, notes detailing secret meetings, and a map marking locations around the town. Emma realized with a shock that the conspiracy stretched far beyond the mill. It had touched nearly every corner of her life. Her hands shook as she read a letter dated decades ago, describing a betrayal so deep it threatened to tear the town apart. And then she saw it, a reference to her own family, a hidden connection she had never known. Questions swirled in her mind. Could her family have been involved? Were her parents hiding the truth? Before she could process it all, a noise echoed from the corner of the mill. A creak, deliberate, unnerving. Emma froze. Someone else was there. Someone had been following her. The journal, the box, the secrets. Everything was about to become deadly real. And Emma knew without a doubt that she was no longer just an observer. She was now part of the story. And the people who wanted to keep these secrets buried would do anything to stop her. Emma's heart was still racing as she stepped out of the mill, clutching the iron box like a lifeline. Every shadow along the empty street seemed to move, every rustle of leaves a warning. She knew she had to act fast. The moment someone discovered she had found the secrets, her life would change forever. She decided to confront the pieces of her life that suddenly didn't add up. First stop, her best friend, Lily. If anyone could help her, it would be Lily, but the closer Emma got to her friend's house, the more uneasy she felt. Something in the air was off. The neighborhood felt too quiet, too careful, as if everyone knew she had crossed a line. Inside Lily's room, the air smelled faintly of perfume and secrets. Emma laid the journal and box on the bed. Lily's eyes widened as she recognized the names, the photographs, the letters. "Emma, where did you get this?" she whispered. But before Emma could answer, a loud knock at the door froze them both. It wasn't just curiosity that had brought them here. Danger had arrived. Emma realized the people behind the conspiracy were watching, waiting. They couldn't let these truths surface, not ever. Panic surged, but there was no time for hesitation. Emma had a choice: run and hide, or fight to uncover the truth no matter the risk. As the hours passed, the struggle intensified. Anonymous messages appeared on her phone, warning her to drop the investigation. Strange figures appeared near her home. Even her closest allies began to doubt her sanity. Every move felt trapped between fear and determination, and yet Emma refused to stop. Each discovery brought her closer to the shocking reality. The conspiracy was bigger than she imagined. It wasn't just her town, or even her family. It was a network of lies, betrayal, and hidden power that had survived generations. By the end of the night, Emma stood on the rooftop overlooking the town. The streets glowed under the moonlight, peaceful and deceptive. She clenched the journal in her hands and whispered to herself, "I will uncover everything. No one will stop me." The struggle had just begun, and Emma knew it was only a matter of time before the stakes became deadly. The question now was, could she survive the truth she was about to reveal? The night was unnaturally still. Emma's breaths came in sharp bursts as she followed the map from the iron box, leading her deep into the woods just outside town. Every step felt heavier, like the weight of generations of secrets pressing down on her. She knew this was the moment, the one that could either destroy her or finally reveal the truth. Suddenly, the faint glow of a lantern appeared ahead. Figures emerged from the shadows, cloaked and silent. Emma's heart pounded as recognition struck. They were the ones from the journal, the keepers of the town's darkest secrets. Their leader stepped forward, face hidden in shadow. "You shouldn't have come here," a cold, commanding voice said. Emma stood her ground. "I need the truth," she replied, voice shaking but determined. "Everything you've been hiding, it ends tonight." The leader laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the trees. "The truth? Do you even know what you're asking for?" With a sudden movement, the group lunged forward, and chaos erupted. Emma ran, dodging branches and stumbling over roots, clutching the journal and iron box. Every secret she had uncovered flashed in her mind. Vanished people, betrayals, her family's hidden ties. Each revelation fueled her determination to survive. In a clearing, Emma found herself face to face with the leader again. "Stop hiding behind lies!" she shouted, holding the journal aloft. "The world deserves to know." For a heartbeat, silence reigned. Then the leader reached for the journal, but Emma reacted instinctively, tossing the iron box toward a nearby tree. It struck with a metallic crash, scattering papers into the wind. The documents flew into the darkness, landing in the hands of unseen allies, people who had been secretly watching, waiting for the right moment. The leader froze, powerless for the first time. Emma seized the moment, running into the night with the journal clutched tight, the pieces of the truth finally within her grasp. She had survived the confrontation, but the danger was far from over. By the time she reached the edge of town, Emma knew one thing: nothing would ever be the same. The secrets she now possessed could topple reputations, destroy lives, and reveal betrayals that had festered for decades. And for the first time, Emma understood the full weight of her journey. The truth was powerful, but it was also dangerous, and those who wanted it buried would stop at nothing to silence her. The first light of dawn crept over the town, painting streets and rooftops in soft gold. Emma sat on the edge of the old mill, exhausted but unbroken. The journal rested beside her, its pages now a weapon and a shield, a record of everything that had been hidden for decades. The town seemed unchanged, peaceful even. But Emma knew better. Beneath the calm surface, secrets still festered, alliances had shifted, and whispers of betrayal would ripple for generations. Yet for the first time she felt a sense of control. She wasn't a powerless observer anymore. She was the keeper of the truth, the one who could expose it or protect it. Word spread quietly at first. The documents she had scattered in the woods had found allies, people willing to help her reveal the hidden corruption safely. Slowly the town began to change. Families who had clung to their secrets were confronted with the past. Lies were challenged. Some relationships shattered, others strengthened. Emma watched it all with a mix of fear and triumph, but the greatest transformation was within her. The timid, curious girl who had wandered into the abandoned mill had grown into someone unafraid to face danger, to question authority, to fight for what was right. She had learned that the truth was never simple, and courage often came at a high cost. As Emma looked toward the horizon, she realized the journey wasn't over. The town's story had changed, but new challenges would always arise. Yet she no longer feared them. She had seen darkness, faced it, and survived. The secrets that once threatened to destroy her life had instead forged her into a force that could shape the future. And as the sun fully rose, casting its warm light across the town, Emma made a silent promise. She would protect the truth no matter what it took. The story of betrayal, conspiracy, and courage would live on, not as whispers in shadows, but as a legacy of resilience. The quiet streets seemed almost peaceful now. But Emma knew better. Danger still lurked. Lies could still rise. And one day the story would continue. But for now, she had won, not by hiding from the darkness, but by stepping into it and refusing to let it define her.